and they're part of our corporate business expertise team in HQ. So let's start. Let's start with the agenda. And the agenda today is quite big. So we will cover the overview of key facts about KUMA, the architecture and system components description. We'll go through the how-to steps, how to start the POC with KUMA, how to do the deployment steps, how to use KUMA in different distribution scenarios. What should you do when you are done with the installation? And some other steps, important steps about the integration scenarios, so content that we already have in our theme, and I'll show you a little bit about the integrations that we have on the hood. So after each of these topic, you can ask your questions. I'm not sure how can do this in the right way. Should we use only chat, or you can ask your questions here? So I think it's up to you, and we can start with the first topic, with the KUMA overview. And what I wanted to share with you today is our key things about the theme solution, and the three main pillars about the theme, about the KUMA is our RMSSP readiness, performance and flexibility, and our readiness and competitive with other vendors. So long story short, let's start with the first MSSP ready solution. And we use only one console. So in one scene, we have only one user console for interaction, for user management, for service management, for everything. So you don't need to have different systems, different consoles for management, your IT and security things. More than 200 tenants can be created in this menu. The SIEM has advanced roles-based access control model, and very good MSSP ready pricing model already can be provided daily, monthly, with early subscriptions. The second, the low system requirements and high performance. So now we've done more than 100 POCs, and we have more than 50 deployment in production environment in our partners and customers infrastructures. And based on all this experience, we might say that you can use all-in-one infrastructure, a simple infrastructure for up to 10K EPS. And for distributed, we have different distribution in partners infrastructure with up to 3K and even 500K EPS. So the solution is quite flexible, so various scenarios can be used and deployed. And in the core of our SIEM, we use a really high performance database. It's called ClickHouse. It was made by a Russian engineer in cloud company Yandex. And the third pillar is that our SIEM can be competitive to other vendors because it's easy to use, easy to store. It provides a SQL-like query language, so you can use SQL queries, and we also have quite good query builder. It's already built in our SIEM, so you can use it in a menu. So we provide different native and custom response actions out of the box. For example, integration with KC, with EDR, with Kata, with KSMG, threat intelligence solutions and services, and Active Directory. All these solutions are already available, and you might use it in your POC. And also, KUMA supports different programming languages like Python, Go, Bash, PowerShell, so you can use them as a custom response action scripts. And a few words about comparison. There are two battle cards with other vendors are already available on our portal, on the Confluence page, global pre-sales portal page. The comparison with versus Splunk and Curator. Let's go further. And the next topic is the architecture. And let's start the overview of the architecture from the scheme. So our solution has four components: control center, the correlator, collector, and storage. So I think that many all vendors they have the same architecture, but maybe the name of the components might be changed, might be different. But let's start with our SIEM and with our SIEM components. First is control center. So we use, as I said, we use it for the user interface, for user interaction with all system and account management consoles. So we can visualize our monitoring of data sources. We can monitor all information that we got from the different data sources. We can drill down into the data. We can find out why we didn't get the appropriate data in one specific time. So it's quite simple and quite understandable. I'll show you a little bit later. Let's go further. Next, I will say the main component of the system, because you'll spend a lot of time figuring different collectors, because we use collectors to receive the data from events. So we create different components, different collectors for different data sources. So it means that if you use four different data sources like routers, like Windows, Linux, and web servers, for each type of these data sources, you need to create a collector. It will be a virtual part of the operation system. That will be a service, the operation system level, and this service will be used for receiving the data, for parsing and normalizing the events, and for filtering normalized events, so you can cut unnecessary events or so specify only the needed for your infrastructure, for your correlation. Then we can do the aggregation, and then we have two options how when the data will be transmitted. So the first option, data will be transmitted to the correlator component, or it might be transmitted directly to the storage. In this case, SIEM might be used as just a log management solution. So it's not the way how we I would like to announce how we like to use it in our business and customers infrastructure, but in some cases it might be necessary because some systems they provide a limited number of data, and this data can be correlated between each other. So let's start with correlator. We use correlator for correlation. We also use correlator for enrichment the data. So if you have integration with threat intelligence portal, with our data feeds, with any other external solutions and services, if you have integration with Active Directory, with our KSC, so all these systems might enrich the data and might increase the visibility of your SIEM. And it also might be integrated with external systems. As I said previously, we have integration with our solutions, and SIEM can be integrated with other third-party solutions like web proxy, next generation firewall, etc. So it can be done via custom scripts or via RESTful API. So in the last step, we need to route all correlated events to the storage. And the storage, we use storage for storing data for because of the logical structure of this of the storage of the ClickHouse. It's a column-oriented database. It can manage terabytes of data a day. So really fast, and I can say that it's one of the fastest database on the market. And in comparison to other vendors in Splunk and in FortiSIEM, they also use the same storage system. So before we proceed to how to start sessions, do you have any questions? I'll switch back to the console. So I think there are no questions, so we can proceed. Yeah, there are no questions. So let's go further, and the first steps. And we done more than 100 POC on Russian and STAN market in general. So now we understand how to do it in the right way, what should we do or what shouldn't. And there are four, maybe even three main steps that you should follow. And the first is to fill out the initial questionnaire. I wrote it at the first because you may ask 100 of questions to the customer or partner. You can ask a lot of questions to our team, but in general, it's not the best way how you can do the POC. So the right way is to share the questionnaire. It's published on the global pre-sales portal, and so it's quite simple. We'll cover it on the next slide. So the next is to use the sizing guide to calculate the POC and production hardware. In most cases, with you guys, with all other regions, first question that I got was how to calculate the hardware. How many servers, how many virtual environments should we ask to deploy, or any other related questions. So we have an internal calculator. So please do not share this calculator with your customers. It's only for our internal Kaspersky usage. And I'll also show it on the next slide. So the third thing is to find the list of data sources before the POC. So the planning is the good manner, and I'd like to do the same. I'd like you to do the same and to specify the list of data sources and to negotiate it with the customer, with partner, before we start the POC. Because you might include our team, you might include your technical staff and other teams in this process. And when we're done with connection integration with some of the data sources, it might be difficult to come back again with all these teams and to spend more time on this project. That's why it's better to decide which solutions should be configured and which solution should be integrated with SIEM before we start. And one notice, we have out-of-the-box integrations, so you can check the list of available data sources before we start the POC, and if you find out that some of the data sources are not supported right now, and so you don't have any idea what to do with all the things, please stay in touch with our team. You can write directly in Teams and via email, or you can highlight and send your troubles via global pre-sales request. So contact me if you want anything related to KUMA, like technical materials. You want to start the demo or POC, or maybe a technical discussion with your partner or customer. Or if you found that pre-sales kit has some mistakes, or maybe you need to add something new, but you don't know how to do it correctly. So please contact me, and so don't hesitate to contact me anytime on a work day. So the next, the EPS calculator and questionnaire. So what are the docs? So these are the docs that posted on a global pre-sales portal and on a KUMA knowledge base page. So these are two links, and they are related to the KUMA as a part of our expert portfolio. So those links, I think, are familiar to you. So if not, please contact me I'll provide it to you. So this is an overview of our EPS questionnaire. And what should you do with this material, with this doc? You need to ask your customer, your partner to fill out this form, fill out this table, and provide as many information as they could. So, because based on this information, we can calculate the approximate EPS rate. So in this particular case, the approximate EPS rate is about 1,300 EPS. And for this purpose, you need to ask for a license with a 13 with specific from the specific bundle. So we have different bundles for KUMA, and so they will be available in your local price list soon. So you will check this information from this field and match it with the bundle, with appropriate bundle. So all of this information in this table average. So that means that the Windows server with high EPS rate might send more than 50 EPS. So it might send more than 50 events per second. And so the 450 EPS for in this table is just an approximate number of EPS. And I would say the same for all information that you might find here, but it's quite accurate. So if we use it in the right way, the next is our sizing guide. So how to use the sizing guide? Let's check it. This is how it looks like, and in this table, you need to fill out only everything in code in red. So all data marked in red. We have a special notification for you. So you can specify the hot storage days, the cold storage days, the average rate for EPS. From the menu, you can select the thread Intel, high availability, and net flow, and number of years, and support level, premium, base, etc. So, and the average event size and storage, it might be a little bit different. It depends on the system that you want to integrate with, and the net flow. In case if you don't want to use net flow during the POC, this number should be 0. And as a result, you'll see the information in the table below, depending on a version of your theme. It might be all-in-one or distributed. And as I said, if we use about 10,000 EPS, we would recommend to use all-in-one version. So the all-in-one table will be filled. Or if you got the recommendation to use distributed version, you'll see the same feature as you see now. Okay. The next, the planning. As I said, planning is a good idea, and then this the first step that you should do before the POC. You should ask your partner, representative person, what what they want to integrate with KUMA, what they have in the infrastructure. Maybe in some cases, the customer might ask to do the real-time comparison with the existing same solution and with a new one with KUMA. And in this case, I would recommend to provide the same amount of data to each SIM, and to ask for maybe a load balancing the network traffic, maybe to organize a mirror for network traffic for Windows Event Collector. They might create a new Windows Event Collector subscription, and then the data directly to the KUMA SIM. And this document is also available on Global Process portal, so you can download it, you can check the details, you can share it with your customer, fill out it, and share for sure. Or if you have any questions how to fill out this form, how to use it, what should you integrate on the first stage, as a first step, on the second step, on the third step. So all the thing, maybe ask via Teams, email, or GPS portal. And a popular question, how long does it take to create a new parser? I said that something might be not supported right now, so you might maybe in the case that the next generation firewall send the data, and so the path method they didn't work, and the customer ask you to do something, or they will decided to finish the POC. So please contact me ASAP, and I'll try to help you. In most of the cases, I can create or maybe modify the existing parts, create a new one in a 1 or 3 work days. So in cases, you may even write me on a weekend. I'll try to help you. So let's go further. The next is the next is deployment steps. So as far as I know, you already done with the KUMA training, so you know how to deploy the SIM, how to configure. So I'll just cover and highlight some important things that might be missed, and might be missed during the training, might be not so understandable because they are missed in our online support page or anywhere else. So on this slide, you see two different pictures, and so let's start with the first one with the picture on top of the screen. So here we can see the listing of the sorry. So here you can see the listing of files in a directory of our distributor. So you can see some things are highlighted and colored in blue and green. So things that are marked in green are our install script and uninstall script. So we use it for installation and installation. So everything that you see in blue are related to to some configuration files. This also directories, as you must see, as a might see here, here, and that this directory. And in these directories, there are a lot of important files related to the installation and uninstallation process. So before we start, we have to copy our license file, and we need to put it into the folder. This in this folder, and alls KUMA files. And so please don't forget to rename your license file to the license.k. So if you forget to rename it, you'll get a notification, and so the installation process will be quick. So the next thing that I want to share with you the information about the KUMA Windows and Linux agent files. So on the next screenshot, you'll see the files named KUMA and KUMA.exe. So this is a file that you may use for your agents installation, and copy these files from this folder, move them to Windows or Linux machines, and we don't forget to copy license file too, because it's mandatory to copy and to use these two files. If you miss something, installation show you the error. And first important thing, please don't forget that everything that you missed during the installation process, during the configuration, might be reconfigured, might be reinstalled later. So many our pre-sales engineers, they might miss to select to install the example objects. So our example content for correlation, for integration with different data source. So this information can also be uploaded later via the resource page in KUMA user interface. So for this reason, we just need to use the OOTB content file. So you can see it here in this page, KUMA files. So you just need to use the default KUMA password, must be changed, and select this file from the distributed folder. Everything will be uploaded, or you can select only appropriate ones. And this might be used if you don't have internet access in the customer infrastructure, and so you need to integrate the solution with everything. So the next step, the configuration. You might also saw these files previously during the POCs or maybe during the trainings session, but I want to highlight it because highlight this topic because it's important to understand the difference between these two files and their structure. And the main difference is quite simple. On the left side, you see the all-in-one file, YAML file. On the right, you see the distributed YAML file. So the difference is that in all-in-one, we have everything deployed on one single server, or virtual, physical, both are supported. In distributed infrastructure, we need to deploy everything on a different host. So dedicate host for correlator, for storage cluster nodes, for core, and we need to specify the IP addresses for each of these system component. We need to specify the name QDM for all these components, and this is all what you need to do with these files. By default, the deploy example services set as true. So if you didn't change, they will stay the same. And one important notice before we proceed further, please check the host name /f of your KUMA all-in-one server or each of the distributed servers, because during the installation process, SIEM creates a single signed certificates for all system components. And if the system host name and the host name in these files will be different, the system might not be installed, so you might get a error, or system might be installed, but when you try to do something, to integrate something, you'll see that your storage, your correlators are red. They have a red color, and so you can change anything. You can start them, you can restart them, so you can do anything, because they have wrong configuration. And during all of your POCs, please use all-in-one infrastructure. But if your customer or partner they ask you to deploy only distributed version, it's also possible, but it will be a bit complicated, because more configuration must be done before the POC. More system requirements might be deployed and configured in a proper way. So don't hesitate to ask your questions, and it's really important to choose the right variant for your POC. Yeah. Okay. Deployment scenarios. So why do we suggest only all-in-one KUMA for POC? Because it uses low hardware requirement. As I said, with all-in-one, we can manage up to 10K EPS on one single machine. And for this purpose, we might start with 8 virtual CPUs, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and at least 500 gigabytes of hardware hard drive. So it's quite easy to deploy. You need to remember only two things. You need to configure the single inventory file. Show you this file previously on previous slide, and you need to click install single inventory. So that's all that you need to do during the deployment stage. And you need to open any network access between system components. In most of the cases that I saw, the customer might problem to create a lot of firewall exceptions for your SIEM, and it might take time to do all the thing. So that's why it will be easier to start with one single machine and open only network access between the SIEM and the data source. So, and by default, please keep in mind that operation system firewall, we use Oracle Linux 8.6 and 8.7 as recommended versions. The operation system firewall is enabled by default, so you can switch it off, but please switch it off. Use the new access rules to create, modify, and delete new access, new network access. Okay, so this is all-in-one infrastructure. Everything is simple. Deployment is quite understandable and fast. So usually it takes about 15 or maybe even less, 15 minutes, I mean. So let's see how can we deploy KUMA in other scenarios. And then second scenario, second option is to place some of the components in the branch. So we can imagine that we have a head office, as we have in Kaspersky. We have a head office in Moscow, and we have a branch in different regions. So in each branch, we can deploy only one system component, it's called collector. And via these components, we will do all the stuff. So we will collect data, we will normalize the data, we will even aggregate the data from different data sources and send it directly via site-to-site or any other VPNs configurations. In some cases, during the maybe government or local policies, restrictions, etc., additional components might be installed. In some cases, correlator or even storage might be deployed in a branch, but they will be related to the head office, to the main KUMA deployment, and so they will be managed via with one single console. That's one of the options why it's better to use our SIEM, because you can create a lot of different tenants, branches, and deploy a lot of system components. I'm not aware about the limit. How many collectors, correlators can we deploy now? In that more than maybe 500 correlators, or maybe even more. I've never seen more than 500 correlators, really, but that's it's a lot of data. So that's why we can use this scenario for HQ and small branch in small branch scenarios. So the third option is to use KUMA in hierarchical mode. So we have a main KUMA SIEM deployment, and we have the same deployment in each of our branches. So we configure the head office, then we deployment configure KUMA C main branch, and then we need to set up the hierarchy between the network interaction between these two installations. And so from the main office, from the head office, the new role will be created. In this case, it's called the master admin role, master administrator role. So this role can do the user configuration for all branches. So the administrator access any user in any infrastructure, and the data, the information about alerts and incidents might be accessed from the console in the head office. So no more data will be transferred between these two, between the subordinate KUMA and the main KUMA. So in this case, we don't need the high bandwidth between different branches, and it's good news for our partners who might deploy, who might use this scenario in their real life. So I think we're done with deployment scenarios, with everything that might be related to deployment. Let's check information about. Let's check the questions. Yeah, I have one question about: can we have a lab cloud share with firewall webs with a switch? Yeah, Juan. Working on it. I already have a cloud share lab, so I think I can copy and distribute it to you, but it's quite big, and it uses all my system hardware requirements that was provided or was given to me on the cloud share. So let's discuss it after the session. I think I can do something for you. Okay, the next step is a post-install workflow. Next step. So we've done with installation. We have access to the user interface. We logged on, and what should we do next? So as I wrote here, the SIM is just a tool. So use this tool correctly, and you will be surprised by the result. And I'll try to cover all the things that might be important and interesting to you. And we'll start with the overview of our menu. So here you can see the tenants menu. So you can choose all tenants or only needed for your purposes. So in my case, I select all. I have two, but I select all. The next is the dashboard menu. We'll cover it lately. The alerts maybe. So in terms of KUMA, alert is not confirmed security incident. So we raised alert in when the correlation logic match all the events on the conditions, and the incidents are only confirmed alerts and linked incidents. So incidents might be linked, between each other, and so you might have raised incident, sorry, and you might later link some new alerts to this existing one. So the events menu, so all your search queries are here. Yeah, that's right. It's correct. The asset menu. So in KUMA, all assets might be imported via the KC, via the integration with KC, or manually. So manually means that you can create the asset manually, or you can create it via the API API script. The next is reports. Reports quite simple. Have predefined reports. The resources menu. You'll spend a lot of time here. Yeah, that's right. That's correct. The thread install integration with Cybertrace. It's native integrations, and if you have integration with Cybertrace, you'll see this menu, the task manager menu, the settings menu. So all the configuration, all the integrations, user management, license users might be checked here. Source status menu. Here it spikes and get notifications. It's also correct, and we are friendly for any spikes and any over usage of the license. So it's another advantage that you may transfer, you may share with our customers. So we won't charge them for any spikes or any over usage. And the metrics, the real-time system monitoring can be done here. So next step is a short demo in this post-installation steps. So I recorded a short 2-3 minutes demo with an overview. All the things will be covered, will be shared with you, so it's not a problem if you miss something. Okay, so first of all, we need to log in. I use my credentials, and what I see the dashboard. The dashboard shows us a lot of information. Can check the alerts, we have different severity. We can select them, the menu, all or only specific. So we can check information about the incidents, the events. So have a saved queries, saved filters here. So you can choose one of the favorite if you want. So you can specify the data, you can choose the information, and some actions are actionable. So you can drill down and get more information about the asset or the user, related user. So you can change the time period, and this is how the SQL query builder looks like. The asset menu. In my case, all assets were integrated via the KC integration. We can create some conditions and check the information if you want. For example, I want to see the assets with OS Linux, and you can check, you can prove the information. Yeah, version system is Linux. It's correct. So there are 3 different reports you can run, and so I'll check the information later. The resources menu, the task manager, so we'll see the information and the status of all tasks. The settings menu, the license usage, EPS available and current EPS usage. The repository. I would even stop the video on this moment because I haven't told you about it before. And this is another important thing that I want to mention. In the latest version, we announced, we released a new feature. The feature is repository update. So we created a Kaspersky security repository for KUMA. So all new system content might be downloaded, might be available here. So if your SIM via proxy or directly has access to the internet, so you can run the update and you'll get notification about some new things. Might be new correlation rules, might be new parsers and normalizers, aggregation rules, etc. So all the things will be available to you. Okay, we can proceed. So there are 9 different packages already in this. So the source status, you can check the source status, you can check the graphic of different data sources, and the metrics menu. Yes, that's it. That's the first step, the first overview of a SIM. So those of you who are not familiar with this solution, maybe, I hope I'm wrong. And the important thing that I mentioned that KUMA fully support multi-tenancy. So in different MSSP scenarios, it might be used. And so up to 250 different tenants can be created and accessed separately. So let's start the video. So now we see that there are no any servers settings. We see that everything fine, but there are no event sources on the list. And yeah, we selected only second tenant, but not the main. So we have everything in main. The main tenant should be selected. And in event details, you see the tenants on the top. So we can go back to resources, and resources see a column of tenant. So if we select, example, only main, we see only main related to main, and if you select second, we see only one related to second. And so we choose only second. That's why you can find also in the event page there are no assets for second tenant. That's how the data can be separated between different tenants. So when the system administrator with the highest privileges can access both, but the just operator might have access only to the specific one. So let's stop and cover 2 important things. The first is services. So we have 2 types of them. The initial, so it's core, correlator, collector, and storage. So everything that you fill in the YAML file. So that you specified previously, and additional. So the data collectors, agents, extra correlators, and extra storage nodes. So if you forget to add something, if you during the POC, if you want to add something new, you can reconfigure the YAML file, the initial file, and create something new. Maybe change something new, something. So it's also possible. After that, you don't need to uninstall. You just need to install again, and everything will be reconfigured. But please don't forget to do the backup of your of all your services. And the user workflow is presented on this slide. So first of all, you need to create a new service via the graphical wizard. Then after when the wizard is done, you need to run a script on KUMA Linux host as a privileged user. On a KUMA Linux host, I mean on a KUMA core server, because only this host can run scripts. Then we need to add exception on the network to the network layer and the KUMA host firewall. I mean in operation system level firewall. So the next, we need to check that the service status is green, so everything fine from the service perspective, and then check the events are coming and they normalize correctly. So if you choose the right parser, if you choose the right port, and if you select all system components correctly, everything should be fine. If not, you need to check it again and again. And repeat, and repeat it one more time until you finish the POC, finish the configuration. The next thing is resources. So as I said, resources might be imported manually. You can do it from the KUMA distributive folder. So we have an OOTB content file, which has different examples of system content, and you can do it manually also with the SOC packages. So now we have 3 SOC packages. They have different correlation rules, so more than 300 correlation rules. So normalizers, connectors, etc. So all that you see on this screen, everything might be covered by these sub packages. And information might be downloaded from the Kaspersky repository. So in the future, I'll say in the next few months, all sub packages will be transferred to the Kaspersky system repository, and they might be downloaded automatically or manually from this repository. So no more manual interaction, manual import from the file. Only if you do it because of the backup or storing the server. So how to move? So if you have, for example, collector for syslog for checkpoint, or maybe for Palo Alto next generation firewall, and so you have it in a first tenant, and you want to create the same with the same configuration, but so you just need to change the name and change the port, destination port. So you can export appropriate collector or anything that might be related to the system content, and then import to the right place. So you export from the second or from the first tenant, and then you import it to the second tenant. During the import, you can check and so configure the collector, and so then you just need to run the script on your core Linux machine. And one important thing that I covered previously during the training, during the anything, I think even didn't cover. I didn't even cover it in POC guide. Is that I recommend you to use destinations. So you just need to create a destination. For example, you have two types, two different correlators for that are shared between all of your tenants. And you have 4 or maybe 10 cluster nodes of storage. If one you don't need to add this version manually, so you create a destination, and in destination you specify all the QDNs of correlators of storage nodes, and all this information will be set as a destination for the data for your logs. So when the logs come in, they will be transferred using these destinations. And the second thing, important thing, that destination do the load balancing. So if you specify 2 correlators, the data will be balanced between each of them, and the data will be balanced in case of if one failed. So the data will be moved to the live to the live one. And another thing that might be important. So if you create secrets, and you'll be creating secrets multiple times during the POC, during the demos. All secrets, when you fill out the fields and click OK, they will be empty. So if you open it again, they are empty. And so it doesn't mean that you lose something. It doesn't mean that you need to type your password, your user account again and again. So they are just hidden, and the information is saved somewhere in the system. So just keep in mind the thing, and transfer this knowledge to your partner and to your customer. And let's look short demo. Let's see short demo. Okay. So we have collectors, collators, storages, and agents, as I said you previously. So we go to resources and services. So we can specify some of them, and in this menu we have different buttons. Now I want to pause the video. So the update configuration button means that if you change something, for example, you can change the parser method, or you can change the enrichment role you might add or remove it from the collector. In this case, you need to update the configuration. Just click on this button. In case when you did something related to the network, or if you change the parser in general, I'd recommend to use the restart button. In case if you need to use information, if you need to find out the log file or anything related to the specific correlator, collector, storage on a core Linux machine, you need to copy the ID, and then it will be easier to find the right information because we use this ID as a folder name and a system directory. So let's go back. Go to collectors. There are a list of existing collectors in my structure. So you can click on it, you'll see this wizard. You specify the tenant, so you won't be able to change the tenant. Specify the kind and the URL. In case when you have just all-in-one structure, you don't need to specify the full the QDN. You might use just the port. In all other cases, you have to specify the QDN of collector machine. Then you specify the parser method, the normalizer. It might be related to the parser procedure, and this information can be changed here. So all out of the box normalizers, they can be added. So you need to copy to double it and then create something new. So yeah, enrichment, we can add your enrichment, and this is a routing page. So specify the route where the data will be transferred. And then there are two options: save and restart, and save and update. After that, let's check the correlator. Correlator, we also need to specify the tenant. In correlation, we need to link the appropriate correlation rules with the correlator. So for each correlator in each tenant, the correlation rules might be different. So in one case, maybe rules related to the financial sector. In other tenant, there might be rules related to the ICS. So it's to you. So I create a new correlation rule and add it during this process. So here I can create some response actions. We can add conditions. For example, I can add a correlation rule name, and in case when the error tries, the response action will take place. Okay. So then, after correlation, we have only one option to move all the data to storage. Okay. And the next thing is storage. So here we can specify the retention rate and the audit retention rate. We can reconfigure the ClickHouse configuration from this menu. I don't recommend to do it because it might break, it might ruin your infrastructure. You can check the current configuration. If you done everything correctly, you'll see the same as you saw in your YAML file. And so we can add the cold storage data here. So for local, we have integration with Hadoop and with local. So you don't need to specify the directory, just a folder where the data will be transferred after the bit retention period. But I want to click save because I don't have such folder. And an agent, we use agent for Windows and Linux. And for Windows, there are two options how to use it. It's there are two options, as I said, Windows Event Collector and WMI. So in both cases, you need to deploy the agent. In all other cases, you may use agentless infrastructure. The next step is system components monitoring. It's quite important to show this to the customer because this menu provides us a lot of information about the EPS rate, about the load on each system component, on a core, on a storage, the load on a network also can be shown as well. So let's check. We use Victoria Metrics and Grafana for the monitoring. You can check data about each of the component here. So all the things are actionable. So you can click on it and select only appropriate one. So you can choose the first period if you need. Okay. You change the time zone. Also possible. And check the information about the operating system, as I said, the processes. So the last 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes load on a server. Memory level, disk usage level, the CPU level. The same information you can check for storage. There are no active queries, so the data managed without any delays. So everything fine. So the ClickHouse application is also fine. I have only one node. That's why it's fine. And yeah, check the load. The load is quite low. Just for the memory, about 40%. Information about latency, all other things might be accessed from this menu. Okay, quite important thing about the user management. So, as I said, we can use local users, local user accounts, and domain user accounts. Creation with Active Directory Federation service and free API possible. So let's check how it works. How can we create a user? So just need to fill these fields, specify the tenant. So one user might have access to different tenants with different roles. I specify the administrator roles. All these fields are not available. So I am, as administrator, I have access to each tenant as administrator. You can create a token for API interaction, and so the API rights can be configured for each user separately. Okay. If you want to integrate with domain, you need to specify the information about it, like the URL, the base distinguish name, the TLS method. So maybe without SSL, without certificate, or with. Then we can check how it works. The connection is established, so fine. And by default, we can provide the list of general administrator groups, and for each tenant, you can specify the groups for each role. So the first line analyst, or the user domain account can be placed into this folder and into this organizational unit, and the user rights will be granted. So I want to show you the integration with Active Directory. I have a user Alice, and I provide her access as a from the domain, and has access only as a first line analyst. He can manage, has some limits for integration, so he can check information, but she can modify anything. So yeah, that's it. Creating new collectors. So we can check the demo. It describes most steps that you should follow. So we can create a new collector, specify the collector's name, the tenants, and we have a 14 of mail in our infrastructure. We specify the kind. So that use syslog with UDP by the network port 5678, and I decide to provide the FQDM for this collector. So I can check the status for the collector. So if your integration with network integration with or fail, the data will be saved with this buffer. So this is the parser method. We have a 14 mail out of the box content. All the things might be checked and visualized, because you can input your event example and check how the data can be parsed, can be normalized. So for extra normalizers, we need to specify the field that what we want to normalize and to send to extra normalizer, and that's it. Quite simple. Everything is vertical. So for filtering, we can specify simple the source address for data only from these source addresses. So this from this subnet will be managed, will be processed. So all other source address will be filtered and won't be saved. So we specify the destination, correlator, and storage. everything is simple, they are safe. Then we create a service. We need to copy this script and run it on a Linux machine. Okay. So this symlink on a Linux created. So we need to check whether it's fine or not. Yeah, the collect Fortinet mail is green, so it means that everything's fine. We can go to events. So it was just an example how we can create a new collector. There are no any events from Fortinet and my infrastructure. Just a case how can manage this thing. Okay. Normalization and path methods. So KUMA out of the box provide about 100 popular support to 100 popular normalizers for security and IT solutions. And this is a list. This is a list of supported solutions. You can check. Provide the link for the online support page. We have the same list of supported solutions there. So let's check the demo. So what normalizers. Here we see the kinds. So there are a lot of kinds. Syslog, CSV, Redux. Okay, so we can create, we can modify the resources out of the box. So we want to create a copy. It's all fields are locked. We can see like that. Okay. As a part of path method, additional normalizer can be configured in a different way. So it might be key value, and the original parser can be, for example, syslog or regex. Some cases, manual enrichment might be added. So, for example, the source port, source address, which might be added manually. So let's create a new one, and for example, the blue code, you see that it's out of the box. Need to duplicate it. Okay, so now everything is unlocked, and we can change something. Okay. For example, we can change the method. We can change the tenant. We can change the normalization formula, and so add new event example. But I want to change here something manually. I don't want to use any specific websites like regex 1.1. So I want to grab information about the source address here. So provide the data to grab each of these things. But I think it doesn't work. Maybe I missed something. I don't know. Okay. After several attempts, I decided to copy this example. So this one is just an example with nothing special, and use a website, special website for this purpose. I copy the regular expression, I copy the example, I put it here, so in your case you can use the same website. And so it's quite easy to use this site because you can visualize all match here. You can see the first match, the group match, and I think I miss this group match. Well, because for group match I need to specify this thing. Okay, it becomes better. Well, I think I missed something. Yeah, that's it. I've done and got the IP address as a new data. We can copy back this formula, and then I need to add new row and specify the source and the KUMA field, source address. Yeah, these examples here. Grab the data and in an MSG on the next step we'll send all the data highlighted in red. That's how we can use regex normalizers for some specific cases. Okay. So that's it for normalization. Let's cover a little bit about correlation. I have a simple rule. I want to create a simple rule for brute force. And so I'll show you the workflow. In system resources, we have a resource correlation rules menu. There are three different sort packages, as I shown you. There are three different types, so they might be simple, operational, and standard. I usually use standard because they allow me to specify the window for event. So in this menu, in identical fields, I need to specify all identical fields for matching, like source address, like destination address, source username, and the Windows ID. The Windows ID should be 4625, I think. Means that the user tried to log in, but the action was unsuccessful. The description of all KUMA fields are provided on our support page, so I can give you a link to this page later. So in the selector menu, we need to specify, create a new selector, specify the name, the threshold, so at least 10 events should be created to be found. Then we need to add some conditions. First conditions will be the device event class ID. So it's 4625 unsuccessful attempts to log in. And then next is the Windows, the event came from Windows. So it's like a good manner to specify the vendor and product for correlation logic. And the last but not least, we need to specify the actions. And on the first threshold, on the first alert, we'll create an output. Okay, the rule was created. We need to add it to the collectors. We need to link it. So we go to correlation, click on a link, specify this rule, click OK. Then we can go to the 7th step, set up validation, and we can update the service configuration. So we then need to restart it because it's just a simple action. Then I tried to load on a KC host multiple times, more than 10. Okay. We'll miss it because it took a lot of time. Okay, let's check the others. There are no others related to the brute force. So all others were created a long time ago. Yeah, we got notification that a new alert was created. Check the information here. The KC, the count is 10. And so I done it by myself. And from this menu, you can do some response. If it's needed. Okay. So that's all about this step. Any other questions? Colleagues, no questions? Everything fine? I think yeah, fine. Okay. So we can proceed. And the last topic is the integration scenarios. I'll cover it briefly because it's the main thing that we have to do during the POC. I don't want to cover everything, but I'll cover only few of them. So the first is I'll cover only native integrations, not the integration with third-party vendors. So the first is the Cybertrace. So integration with Cybertrace allows us to provide more visibility, grab more data from data feeds, and reach our data and create new correlation rules based on this information. And the configuration is also quite simple. We just need to have access to the Cybertrace console. We have to provide the QDN, the port number, the secret. Let's show it, and as I told you, the secret will be empty if you open the existing one. And this is a menu of Cybertrace. You are already familiar with the solution. And in case if something match, you'll see such graphic. Everything quite simple. the KSC. The KSC might be integrated in two variants. The first is integration with, in case when we want to grab all assets from the KSC, vulnerability information, etc. And the second thing, we can do the integration to grab the data from the KSC MMC console or from the SQL database, so both variants. I'll show you how to integrate to grab the data, grab the information about the assets. But it's also quite simple. Just add new settings for a tenant, provide the refresh interval in hours, specify the URL and secret for authentication. This secret is also empty. The next step, we can load the hierarchy and import the assets. So you can click on this link manually, or you can do it automatically using the scheduler. Okay, so we load the last hierarchy. It's on screen. And that's it about the KSC. The third topic is the EDR. The EDR can be integrated the same way. It's really easy. We just need to specify the host and port. Port is by default HTTPS, the secret. And for secret, I'll stop the video for a second. When we click on this download button, we'll get two certificates. We'll get a certificate file, public certificate, and a private key. So when you download them, you need to upload one appropriate one to each of these buttons, and then establish the secure connection between EDR. So you need to drill into the EDR console, accept the new connection from the KUMA, and after that, all data will be everything will be integrated, and you can do the response. We are looking. This is the same video. Yeah. Okay. And the last slide about the LDAP. So if we want to show the customer the integration with LDAP, we want to provide Active Directory response and provide more actions, provide more information about the users or from the domain. We can set up this integration. It's also quite simple. From the menu, we select new setting, refresh interval, domain, and tenant, and data storage time. So by default, 90 days, it will be stored by 90 days. Accounts might be imported manually or automatically using the scheduler. So in my case, we use insecure connection. Let's check. So the task was created, settings saved. Okay. That's it. Check the task. So we can restart the task from this menu, and we see that 33 user account were downloaded. So I think that's all from my side. It's time for your questions, suggestions, any ideas, what can be improved, or maybe something that wasn't covered by this session. So colleagues, feel free to ask your questions. Colleagues, no questions?
Not. I have a question. Do we have any environment where our partner or potential customer or pre-sales can check how KUMA works and check some integrations? So do we have any kind of demo environment?
We have a dev environment in CloudShare. So as I said, I'll share my template with all teams, but it's quite big. But if it's possible, we can share and use maybe the same environment for all pre-sales, if it's also possible. But I'd recommend to create your own. Try and play with different configurations by yourself, and then it will be easier to understand how it works in my infrastructure. Any other questions, colleagues? So,
Reinhard.
yes, Jamie.
Yeah, I see in the KUMA calculator there's hot storage and cold storage. So, how to configure? I mean, I don't see there's a configuration between the hot and cold storage in the server requirement.
So you can see the hardware requirement for cold and hot in our questionnaire and in our hardware calculator. So there are some information that should be provided about the retention rate for cold and hot storage, and showing you how to configure the cold storage. So by default, all data will be saved in one storage. But if you add a new storage, it will be used as a cold. It might be a Hadoop, or it might be a local storage, like a local virtual system. So you add more data from your storage devices, and you extend your hard drive. So this space will be used as a cold storage. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jamie, for the question. Any other questions? If there are no questions, I think we can wrap up and finish this session. So feel free to contact me if you have any information. I'll send the link to you to this to some presentation, because it's quite big. It's about 500 megabytes. It contains a lot of materials that I'd like to share with you, and feel free to ask anything that might be useful. Thank you for attending this session, and have a good day.